Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins, and today we're looking at the readings for the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time. In Matthew's Gospel, chapter 13, there's a couple of really important lessons to learn from this week's reading. How many times have you gone to church and you looked around and you thought to yourself, I wonder who all these people are? You know, sometimes I hear people say that the church would be perfect if we just have perfect people in it. But the problem is that we've got all kinds of people in the church, people that we might not agree with, people that we might not be friends with, and outside of the church walls. And I think sometimes when we run into problems, we just sort of pray that I wish everybody could be like me. Well, we really don't want that. Truth of the matter is the kingdom of God is very diverse, and there's a lot of different kinds of people at different places in their spiritual growth. One of the first lessons this week comes from Matthew chapter 13, starting in verse 24, and it's the parable of the weeds among the wheat. And here's how it goes. Another parable he put before them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed seeds among the wheat and went away. So when the plants came up and bore grain, then the weeds appeared also. And the servants of the household came and said to him, 'Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then has it weeds?' He said to them, 'An enemy has done this.' And the servants, they come up with a solution. The servants said to him, 'Then do you want us to go and gather them?' But he said, 'No, lest in gathering the weeds you root up the wheat along with them. Let both grow together until the harvest, and at harvest time I will tell the reapers, gather the weeds first and bind them in bundles to be burned, but gather the wheat into my barn.'" So we've got a really interesting situation here where these gentlemen see that there are weeds growing up among the wheat, and they know that the master ultimately doesn't want that. So they come up with this solution, and the solution is, "You want us to take care of the weeds? Do you want us to enter into a weed whacking ministry?" And the answer is no. And I'll tell you why. The answer is no, because at this stage of growth right now, you just might pull up some good wheat. And here's why. The weeds that are spoken of here, many theologians would agree that is probably called the darnel plant. And the darnel plant is a noxious plant. Now here's the thing. It looks just like wheat. In its infant stages, as it emerges and it begins to grow into adolescence, it looks just like wheat. You can only tell that it's a darnel plant, a noxious plant, when it's fully mature. And the problem that we would encounter if we're going to do a weed whacking ministry in our parish, we're going to get all the riffraff out so we have a good church, is that you just might pull up a St. Augustine. You just might pull up a St. Athanasius. You just might pull up a St. Teresa. You never know. You see, one man plants, another waters, but God causes the increase. And that's what we're called to do, is plant and water. God causes the increase, and God judges as well. So if you're sitting next to someone at church, or you're on a committee at church and you're thinking, that's got to be a weed right there, let God take care of it. Now, the second lesson in the readings today is one that we're very familiar with. It's the parable of the mustard seed. Now, the mustard seed is literally the smallest of seeds. It is so small that you can barely see it with the human eye. But listen to what Jesus said about this incredibly small seed. Another parable he put before them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field. It is the smallest of all seeds, but when it has grown, it is the greatest of shrubs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and make nests in its branches." Isn't that beautiful? You know what this tells me? It says that in the kingdom of God, in the first parable, not only is it a reality that what we're looking at might not be what we thought, but here in this parable, the very small things, the insignificant things, those things that we would say the world really doesn't care about, it doesn't matter, you need something bigger. Those small things in the kingdom of God grow into significant nurturing plants that lend protection. And so as you look around your parish, you might see some weeds. Might just be wheat. but you're not smart enough to judge. Let God do that. You love them. You nurture them. You fertilize them. In the mustard seed, might look insignificant. Maybe this isn't going to pan out. Maybe there's a better idea. You never know. You know, one time there was a little nun from a place called Albania. And she left Albania and she went to India because she wanted to do something for the Lord. And she was like a little mustard seed with a few rupees and a Bible and a rosary and a couple of saris. Her elder, the one that was responsible for her, even said, I don't think you have what it takes to get this job done. But she went to Calcutta, India, and that little mustard seed was planted. And that mustard seed grew. And today you know her as St. Teresa of Calcutta. She won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's great, but that's nothing compared to this. She became a saint. A little mustard seed became a saint. In your church, my friend, you got some wheat, maybe some weeds. That's fine. Let God deal with it. But you've got a lot of mustard seeds in your parish. You might be a mustard seed. Allow God to nurture you. Allow God to do great things in your life. God bless you.